This video is going along with Chapter 10, Section 2. We're continuing our work with principal and rate times time. So, the calc about in the textbook is this is the magic triangle. Well, I don't know anything about the magic part, but it is a pretty good little handy formula. They apply that in 3 different ways. I wrote those different aspects of the formula out for you. If you're looking for the principal, you take the interest and you divide that by the rate times the time. If you're looking for the rate, you take the interest and you divide that by the principal times the time. And if you're looking for the time, you take the interest and you divide the principal times the rate. So we're going to apply those various formulas into our homework. The first section is asking you to find the principal. Well, that means interest is divided by rate times time. So on number 2, if the rate is 9%, we change that to a decimal. Our time is in years, which is good. So that is going to be 1.5. Okay, and they want you to find that first, rate times time. So we're going to get our calculator up here. So we have 0.09 times 1.5 equals. So this is all down here on the bottom of our formula then, 0.135. And we take the interest, we divide by that, so 675. Put that back over for you here. So 675 divided by 0.135 equals 5,000. Okay? So again, we need to do that bottom step first. So you need to get the bottom figured out and then divide. If you do it in a different order, you're going to get a different answer. All right? So here's one in days. So this one's a little trickier because remember, time is always in years. So I wanted to do an example of those. So again, we're going to move this over, make that a decimal. And then 90, and we're doing ordinary interest, so that's going to be over 360. So we could do it a couple of ways. So take top divided by the bottom to get a decimal and multiply. This actually reduces. This is going to be 1/4, so this is going to be 0.25. So depending on what you need up here, you'll have to solve the problem that way. So you may need to take, let's say this was 85, so you would need to take 85 divided by the 360 to get a decimal and then multiply by this number. But this actually reduces down. So that's pretty straightforward. So we have 0.107 times 0.25 equals, okay, so that's going to be our new bottom number. 75, I have to scoot the calculator over there a second. So then we're going to plug our interest above. So we have a new 5350 divided by 0.02675 equals 200,000. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. You just have to remember to do whatever it is on the bottom first, get that answer, and then take the top divided by the bottom. Don't try to just take the interest divided by the rate times the time. You'll get all messed up. So do it in a step. It just takes a half a second to do it with the right way. So don't try to shortcut it because you'll just end up in trouble. Okay, let's move down to apply a different type of the formula. So here, this is example 8 in your book. So how do they get this? They're looking for the rate this time. So they're looking for the percentage. And how do they get that? Well, if they're looking for the rate, you take the interest divided by the principal times the time. So principal times time, 5,000 times 3 would be 15,000. We don't need the calculator for that. And then we take the interest divided by that, though. So if we scoot the calculator over here, we have 1,200 divided by 15,000. So 0.08, we move that to a decimal. That's how they got the 8%. Okay, they just changed the 0.08 to the as a percent, moved it over to. Okay, so let's do another one of those. Let's do number 10. Again, I do the evens because you're assigned the odds. So we're looking for, again, we're looking for the rate, so we're looking to get the interest in divided by the principal and the time. So we have 60 days out of 360. So let's take 60 divided by 360, 0.16666, times 48. Okay, 8,000. So then we take 728 divided by 8,000. Move it over to 9.1%. Okay. Pretty straightforward. Just have to go slow and easy, and I think it'll be just fine. Okay, let's continue on doing some of these. Again, we're just working at different aspects of the same formula. So here we're looking for time, and I'm going to write the time formula down here because it's up at the top and you can't see it. So I'm just for your convenience, that is the formula. So interest is principal times the rate. Okay, so if we change this over to a decimal, okay, times, right, 1,700. So let's do that. Let's put the calculator back down here. I think you can see that there. I'm done. Okay, and so that's 821.6. So that's going to be our bottom, because we're going to take our interest. Okay, so 228 divided by 821.6. And that would be then part of a year. So we have to still fix it because we need days, right? So we're going to do, this is on ordinary, so we're going to divide this then by, I had to look in the textbook to make sure, I think it's ordinary interest divided by 360. Whoops, times, whoops, So I'm going to get my number back. No. Okay. Well, got to go back to the hard way then. So then we take 228 divided by 821.6 equals times 360. There we go. Okay. So 99.9 days. So we're going to call that 100 days. Okay. Let's do another one of those. So let's go down to 20. So again, principal and rate, change this over, times, so over here so you can see it in here. So 41000 times 0.064 equals, so that's going to be our bottom number. And our interest is on the top. Okay. Now this one will be fun because this one's going to actually work out in years just fine if I remember correctly. Okay, divided by 1.5 years. Okay. So that was nice. Didn't have to do any division. Okay, came out into a whole number there. All right. So sometimes it works out that way. So again, you have to go slow, get the bottom, take the top divided by the bottom, you'll be fine. Okay, let's do one story problem here. Get this over just a little bit. This is number 30. What is the maturity date of a loan for $5,000 at 15% interest taken out on June 3rd? So there's a lot going on here. The amount of the interest in the loan was $150. So we've got a couple of different things going on here. So first off, which formula do we need? Well, we're looking for times. Okay, what is the maturity date? Okay, so we need the time formula, the one we just worked with. Okay, so that's the formula we need. So that's the first thing we need to decide. So let's fill in what we know here. The amount of interest was $150. Okay, the principal was $5,000, and it was at 15%. And we're going to change that over to a decimal. All right, so there's our setup. So that isn't too bad. So let's get our bottom number here. See, so I think it's up enough that you can see the calculator here. So we have, let's see, we have 5,000 times 0.15 equals 750. So we have 150 over 750. Okay? So we're going to head and divide that. So we have 150 divided by 750. And we have 0.2. Now we're not quite done yet, because we have to figure out what part of a year it is. That's 0.2 of a year. Well, we're doing regular entry because it doesn't tell us we're doing ordinary, so we're doing exact. So we're going to have to divide or times that then by 365, and that's going to be in days now. So that's 73 now is 73 days. All right. Well, what is the maturity date? We're still trying to find time. This is how much days we figured out what it is, but it was taken out on June 3rd. This is, you have to add an additional 73 days to June 3rd, so what is the maturity date? Well, now we go to the calendar. Well, June has 30 days, so if we get to the end, there's 27 right there. Another July, because that's June, right? So June is going to have 27 days. July is going to have 31. So there's 68. Okay. Now we have to get up to add another 73 days onto that. So what do we need here? We need another 6 days, right? That didn't look all right. So okay, so we need another, so 58. So we need another 15 days. So then that's going to be August 15th then. So another 15 days is going to be August 15th when that's due. Okay, so just go slow and easy. I want to do a couple more story problems. We're going to do a second video for this section for that. But again, we're just taking the 3 types of formulas, applying them in different ways. Remember, get the bottom number first on all of these, okay, and then take the top divided by the bottom. It's going to work so much simpler for you if you do that step. Don't try to rush it. Okay, see you again in a few minutes.